how your last 40 hours of planning was.
Last 48 hours has been not intense, but just like long days. We've been with my business partner Gray for the recruitment business, just hashing out not just the next 12 months, but just really diving into the offer, who our ICP is, which is our ideal client persona, and then also just going through the offer. So basically all the kind of core pillars of the business that you need. And a lot of people try to jump straight to just having an offer and then thinking that they need to be selling what's the obvious part of it. But over the last couple of years, we've learned that, and even just doing sales, that without having that clear person in mind, everything just really feels way harder. And the goals that we have, we could easily, I think most offers you can make at least 10 grand a month doing a lot. Like if you have like a good product or a good service that people do need, you could easily make 10 grand a month with a lot of that, with a lot of those services. But to really push it to that multiple six figures, into the 7+ figures, and then obviously what we're looking to do even bigger than that, you really need to have those fundamentals, and obviously looking into marketing as well. Like that's the big point of what we took away from this weekend, which we need to just get better at the marketing side and just throw a lot more money into that and get those 3 pillars fundamental to that marketing effort. So we're looking forward to it. I mean, that's what we've walked away with over the last 48 hours. It's kind of condensing that 48 hours into that little bit. And we started the weekend thinking we're going to do one specific thing, which was just build the customer avatar purely. But once we started diving into the customer avatar, we started to realize that the offer didn't actually make sense, which was hiring sales people and closers. But the way that we were presenting it, it was just kind of highlighting the benefits of what we do, which is like the cost savings, which is taking away the time and effort from them having to do it. But in reality, that's not what's going to get bumps in seats, bumps into the calendar, because most people don't even understand what they actually require in sales. Like from my experience, when they're doing certain business antics, they're kind of just doing it because they know the product and it's a referral. They're doing a little bit of cold outreach, and it kind of just happens. So they just continue to do it. When you start there, and they're obviously the owner, so they have a little bit more of that kind of owner frame. So people tend to just listen to that. Once you start placing the salesperson into that fold, it's a completely different ballgame. Like they're coming in fresh and have no idea like what to do, or they're just another salesperson on the call. So if you don't have the fundamentals down and actually targeting what psychologically is going to drive them, you're kind of just throwing crap at the wall basically. And we were there with the recruitment business for a little bit. That was doing okay. Just when we were having phone calls, I was doing something myself. I could just feel that there's just these barriers. And Alex Moses says it's perfect. There's the what knows, where you have to basically overcome something. That's the one thing that you're trying to show, like your offer basically proves that you can do. For example, for us, what we're having as the what knows was, can we find that person? And is South Africa a good place to hire? And that's quite hard because you're trying to sell to someone that has those two things. So we had to kind of break that down and look at what actually are the main things that we need to overcome. And the main thing is that we can actually find that hire for them. Now, the South Africa thing is the bonus. Like, if we prove that we can find that person for them, the offer sticks, we've got good guarantees, it makes sense, it's like a no-brainer, as again, like Alex Moses is a massive part of their value equation. If we can get that working, the South Africa thing is just like that was our main part of like how our product's delivered. It's kind of just like a side thing, which is a really weird thing to say, because that is like, we are a recruitment business that hires in South Africa, but it's actually not the thing that gets people on board. And previously, that was what we would push.
Yeah, it's like the features, not the outcome.
Exactly. I mean, but for like months, we were just talking about South Africa, and that's fantastic. But the person doesn't actually care about South Africa, weirdly. They just care about their problem, which is, I want more appointments, I want more sales. I can't afford a UK staff for £45,000, but in South Africa they can get it for, like, for example, 20-25 grand for a year and get a really good person. Then that's like the kind of like cherry on the top, I'd say. So that's been a really big eye opener for us this weekend, and
so true.
We've now walked away with that clear ICP, which is like agencies. It's mainly around those businesses. Anyone under £20,000 a month currently, we're not going to be able to help them, because those type of people, normally their offer's not that renowned, so they're trying to bring in another salesperson. They don't have the process, nor do they have the lead volume, or potentially the owner's not closing enough. It's a big restructure. They need quite a lot of help to make that salesperson successful. Normally when someone cracks the 20 grand a month, they've got some potentially doing some marketing, they've got SOPs, they've got the fundamentals, and though we help with setting the KPIs and the structure and the onboarding side of it, sales is the highest churn. So if we were to place someone in there, we're probably setting them up for fail. And why we do the 20 grand is because if it's an agency, like a marketing agency, or could be a lead generation agency, for example, they got higher profit margins as well. So we can be working with them, and it's not a big problem. And they got good offers that, one, the salesperson can make good money, so we can actually hire someone for them, because most salespeople want to be making £4,000, £5,000, £6,000 a month, after commissions. Obviously, the top 1%. And anyone below that is going to struggle with that. It's going to be hard ask. And then probably going up to someone with about £5 to £10 million, because that's not too corporate. It's easy to have a conversation. A lot of businesses will still have somewhat owner dependency, and they probably have one, maybe two salespeople who are blend doing both things. So that's what we've been redefining, and then we've been redefining, going through those pain points, which was the really big one, is trying to work out why someone would need this. And again, people probably think, and this is the thing, again, just learning on the fly. We're talking to Graham for like 48 hours on these sort of things. People just instantaneously just think of the most obvious things, but and that would be, for example, for sales. Most people probably think someone's pain point is they want more, appointments in their calendar. That is a pain, but the real big pain is like, how do they actually deliver that? And if they were to hire a salesperson, how are they ever going to be able to get that result if they don't even know how to get leads? Because yes, you can hire someone that's an expert at doing it, but if you don't know yourself, or you don't have the metrics or the KPIs or the actual information to track it, you're basically just like hiring someone into nothingness. And then again, a good salesperson will be able to set that up, especially an appointment setup. But there's quite a lot of fundamentals. So yeah, we have to delve into that, and we did. We got about like 20 different points. And it took us probably 2 to 3 hours of just going back and forth on just that. That was very key, because again, we've been putting the message wrong. Once we now know the pain, and we obviously know the pleasure with the outcome, which is the appointments and the success of them having their time back and them focusing on working on their business, we've got those two things. We can go away and really now map out what we want to do for the next 12 months for marketing. So, we've basically walked away this weekend with a whole plan of attack on the marketing. We've reached out to our marketing person that we work to, who's going to get those ads set up, get the kind of campaigns, get the landing pages. I'm going to go away and create the VSLs, which is basically the video. What's the VSL stand for again?
Video sales letter.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't know what that stands for.
Virtual sales letter.
Video virtual. Same, yeah. So basically, like on that website where someone lands, it's that hook, and then a longer video which is explaining basically what I've just been talking about, but like condensed into the offer, what we do, and then who it's for, in about a 3-minute video. And what that's supposed to do is basically just hook the person in there, pre-sell them in a way, and then get them an appointment, and also good for ads as well. So yeah, we're going to get those created. We have a plan of attack as well for upsells. So this is something that we didn't even think about, which is just like silly. And this is why we're going to start doing these quarterly meetups, because you just kind of think on the fly and then brainstorm. If you think about like our offer, sometimes your offer is not actually what your core offer is sometimes, though it's going to be heavily focused on sales and the sales, so the closing and the appointment setting. Once someone's in that fold, we have the resources, and we have done it in the past, and we understand that model. We've got SOPs already done on how to hire for different roles as well. So once someone comes in for the appointment setting, closing, they start to grow that business's revenue. They start to add more complexities into that business, so we can actually then start solving their problems. So what we're doing is we're laying our service with another service that's just going to be able to double up our revenue, but also double up the value that we give our client. And once we nail that service, we've removed that one unknown thing that we talked about, which is, can South Africans or can wherever we hire in the world do that job? That's done, and they now know that we hire and we can do what we talked about. So basically, if they ever have another role that comes up, we can then just be offering our service to them, obviously charge, and making more money, but also taking the pain away from them. And that's that win-win. And I think, again, it sounds obvious that you could do that, but when you're just trying to solve the main problem and you don't lock in, you just miss all these opportunities around you. And I think, Eve and I were talking about it in our other business about just recent changes that we've made, and we're just looking at like, why did we not do that years ago? Like, that sounds so obvious.
Everything's so obvious once you've found it, isn't it?
But you just don't have the brain capacity sometimes.
Yeah, it's like looking at it with a different perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So that's like been an eye-opener. So it's just like you look at your own business with a kind of like a funnel, and there's all these opportunities around it. You kind of have to package it together. And I think now in this world where most people are not in the office, they're working remotely, it is just different being together for a little period of time. Like, you don't have to do it all the time. Sometimes just getting together, button heads, locking in the same room, blocking off your calendars if you have other businesses, just focusing on one key thing or one problem or two things that you want to get solved. You do come out of that motivated, and all this conversation was only like the last 24 hours. I'm trying to recite it, and it's been a good weekend where you can just bang it out and you got a lot of energy. You want to go film the content, you want to go create it. It was actually really good because we had a few sales calls that were in the calendar already that were happening as we were changing. So we had about 4 calls, and from the first call to the last call, we changed how we were kind of delivering and how the offer works. And literally, it was like, oh my god, the last two ones just flew so much better. It was smooth. It made more sense. When I was talking about it, I was like, oh, I would purchase this. I wouldn't, like the other one, I'd have so many objections and so many things I'd have to overcome. With this one, it was like a no-brainer. I was like, okay, cool, let's get it done. So yeah, that's kind of been my big takeaway. It's been fun. I mean, I love talking about sales. It's amazing. So when I get to help other people get other salespeople that are going to help them grow their business, especially when they have their pains, it's like that win-win. So it's super exciting.